So Tony Khan has officially brought back the AEW rankings after his brief little hiatus. Rumor has it, word on the street, back in the day, CM Punk wasn't really a fan of the rankings, especially the way they were being used. So allegedly, this is the reason why the rankings got phased out. If you remember the first go around when AEW first started, the big thing was the rankings and wins and losses mattering. And it was cool in theory, it was a cool concept as far as the rankings go. But over time, it just got a little bit too convoluted and complex. And most importantly, it wasn't consistent. For example, you had FTR, who was the number one ranked tag team since 1996, and they didn't get any type of tag team titles opportunity for the longest time. So it was just little inconsistencies like that was kind of like, well, what exactly is the point of the ranking system? And it was just a whole lot going on. So like I said, the rankings got phased out, but it's a new year. We're bringing back the feeling, we're restoring the feeling. Tony Khan has stated multiple times that going forward, AEW, he wants AEW to feel more like a sports-based product. And I'm assuming the ranking system is going to help that, because you had Samoa Joe mentioning wins and losses. You've had Adam Copeland mentioning that he wants to use wins as a way to get back to getting his title opportunity with the TNT Championship against Christian Cage. He doesn't want the automatic rematch clause. He wants to actually earn it. After Dynamite last night, Tony Khan dropped the rankings, and I'm going to go ahead and break them down. And until I just don't feel like doing it anymore, most likely I'll try my best to break down the rankings each month just to see how we're doing, keep up with everything. So let's start it off with the new set of rankings, and we're gonna kick off with the men's champions. You have Samoa Joe, who's the world champion, Christian Cage, who is the TNT champion, Orange Cassidy, who is the international champion, Eddie Kingston, who is the Triple Crown champion. So those are the top men champions. And as far as their contenders go, at number 1, you have Swerve Strickland. Number 2 is Hangman Adam Page. And this makes sense because these are the two top guys that are going after Samoa Joe and his AEW championship. So that does make sense. Number 3, you have Adam Copeland, who, like I said, is going after the TNT championship. So that makes sense. Number 4, you have Jon Moxley, who's just unstoppable and unbeatable at some points. So yeah, there's that. And then at number 5, you have Roderick Strong, who's going after the International Championship at Revolution. And one thing that could possibly help with these rankings, instead of doing top 5, maybe do top 10, because you see these 5 guys, but where is somebody like Wardlow, who's been undefeated? Somebody like Bryan Danielson, who's been having great matches and who's pretty much unbeatable at this point. So that might help with that, instead of expanding it to 10 instead of having 5 contenders. But we're going to go on to the women's side. We have the women's champion, Timeless Toni Storm, and the TNT champion, Julia Hart. And their top 5 contenders are at number 1, Deonna Purrazzo. Number 2, Thunder Rosa, which again makes sense because you have Deonna Purrazzo, who's going after Timeless Toni Storm. And then, not too far behind that, you have Thunder Rosa, who just came back. She's undefeated so far. And on top of all of that, she technically never lost her championship. She never got pinned or submitted for it. She had to give it up due to injury. So hopefully after this whole feud with Deonna Purrazzo, Thunder Rosa is up next. At number 3, you have Hikaru Shida. Number 4, you have Sky Blue. And number 5, you have Mariah May. And again, this is where 10 spots instead of 5 would help, because where's Willow Nightingale? Where's Chris Statlander? Like, you have so many people, so many women that have been killing it that aren't in the top 5 that really should be. And if you had it as 10 instead of 5, maybe this might help a little bit better, but whatever it is, what it is. So next up, we go to the tag team titles. We have the tag team champions of Ricky Starks and Big Bill, and their number 1 contenders are Sting and Darby Allin, which makes sense because they're having a match next week. So okay. At number 2, you have John Silver and Alex Reynolds.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
What? When's the last time? I know they wrestle on Rampage sometimes, but number 2? Word? Okay. Number 3, you have Bryan Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli. I can kind of see that. Number 4, oh my god, is that Private Party? And at number 5, you have Best Dudes, Orange Cassidy and Trent ? This is where my issues are starting to come in a little bit, because Sting and Darby makes sense at number 1, that's fine. But at number 2, John Silver and Alex Reynolds, where in the world of Carmen Sandiego did these two come from? I know they wrestle on Rampage sometimes, but word? I feel like Private Party should be up a little bit higher. Also, why isn't Top Flight on the list? That doesn't make sense. Trios division, we have The Acclaimed and Daddy Ass. Their number 1 ops are Bullet Club Gold. Makes sense because they're the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champions. So that makes sense. But again, here we go with where did this math ain't mathin', because at number 2, you have the Hardys and Mark Briscoe. And I don't think they've really wrestled a match together. I know they had a backstage segment where they kind of bullied Mark Briscoe into being a trio, so that doesn't make sense. Again, you have the Dark Order. Okay. Number 4, you have FTR and Daniel Garcia. I can see that because they reached the number 5 ranked team in House of Black at, this past Saturday on Collision in that steel cage match, so that makes sense. But again, I don't understand why Dark Order is ranked so high. I don't get it, especially you have the Hardys and Mark Briscoe at number 2. See, I don't want to be all negative before this joint really starts, but it's kind of hard not to with the way these rankings are working out so far. I'm gonna give it a chance because it's a new set of rankings, but it's not really off to a hot start, but I'm willing to give it a chance. So yeah, those are your rankings. Once the rankings from February drop, I'll come back on here and break those down too. But what do you think of these rankings so far? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you not care? Are you just thinking like, who cares about the rankings? Let me know in the comment section below. Of course, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. You guys take care. Be easy. I'm out. Peace.